Ladies and gentlemen, we have campaign gameplay, and quite a bit of campaign gameplay at that, but on top of that, I got to go check out Black Ops 6 early, and they gave us a bunch of information that wasn't on the direct. So in this video, I'm going to give you all the background information you need to know about campaign. I'm not going to dive into the nitty-gritty on this one like I normally do, but we're going to have videos going up throughout the rest of the week on very specific things with the story, so make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on. Also, I'm doing an AMA night over on Twitch. It'll be around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out my Twitch, link down below. Now, as far as campaign goes, we have gameplay to look at, but on top of that, I have like backstories for all of the missions and backstories for the campaign and characters as a whole. So I wanted to give you that before we dive into each of the missions. So to start out, we have our characters. So first off, we have Frank Woods. He's one of the characters on the team, but he was injured in Black Ops 2 in the year 1989. He was shot in the knees by Raul Menendez. That was 100% canon. He's going to kind of be your field report guy. He's going to be working the comms, things along those lines. Then we have two new characters, one by the name of Marshall. I believe he is the title character for Black Ops 6, and he is going to be kind of like one of the main guys you work alongside in the game. We also have another character by the name of Harrow. Now, Harrow is your CIA handler. Now, you may be wondering why I say your CIA handler, because I haven't talked about your character yet. This was very briefly brought up in the gameplay, but you are called Case. And we had a Q&A session during the kind of time that we were at Treyarch, and I asked the question, who is Case? And they didn't tell me much. They said it is a code name for your character. And I said, kind of like the code name that we had for Bell in Black Ops Cold War. And they're like, yeah, kind of like that. We're going to keep it a mystery for now. But we know our character is named Case. They didn't answer the question whether or not we could change our operator or what happened with that. But Case is your character. That's all we know about it. The campaign starts in the year 1991. You go on a mission in Kuwait. I believe it's Case, Marshall, and Harrow are on this mission. It is in Kuwait in the year 1991. When you get there, something goes wrong, and by the end of it, you end up running into Russell Adler. Now, Russell Adler has been missing for months or years. They didn't actually tell us the time period, but a long time at this point. And he is seemingly gone rogue. The CIA is no longer good with him, and you now start working with Russell Adler to track down a mysterious group called Pantheon. Now, we don't know what went wrong in this mission, or why Adler was disowned, or why really you get disowned for working with Adler. That kind of sets it up. So all of the Black Ops agents, you guys, Case included, have gone rogue, and they are no longer working with the CIA for some reason. We don't know why. What this means is they can't use any government assets. Like, they can't call in a Predator missile out of nowhere because they don't have that type of technology. So they kind of, again, have to be working in the shadows, clandestine operations, that kind of stuff. Now, because of this, they are forced to work with some actual bad guys in the world who they wouldn't normally work with. They include Felix, who is an enemy, Sev, who is an assassin for hire, and finally, Russell Adler, who they describe as a professional monster. Now, they gave us a bunch of examples of missions that are going to be in this game. They take place in the Gulf War, but some things that you do are a heist at a big casino, stealthy behind the enemy lines missions, the snowy tundras of northern Russia, and finally, they even said this, you have the mind-bending Black Ops missions, assumably associated with MKUltra. Now we get into the actual missions in and of themselves. So these are where we get into gameplay. So they set up the first mission that we have. And I want to be clear, this entire mission was actually shown to us when we went there, and I expected it to be in the direct, but it wasn't. So I'm guessing we're going to see at least one of these missions at Gamescom. So I can't show you the whole mission, but I can show you the parts of the trailer that were this mission and how it actually worked. It takes place on February 2nd, 1991 at a Capitol station in Washington, DC. You go to a political gala. I believe it's a campaign event for Bill Clinton. Now, your objective here is to get underneath the campaign gala because Russell Adler has been captured and you are going in to recognize him. And underneath this gala is a secret black site facility where he is being held. Now, there's multiple ways of completing this mission. Think the KGB mission from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And the examples that they gave us is you can blackmail a senator's wife, you can go undercover as a journalist, you can hack the silent auction, and all of those are going to lead to you getting underneath the campaign gala and getting into the black site. So this is where they actually showed us the rest of the mission, and it's kind of the parts that you are seeing here, where they go into the CIA black site, eventually break into a cell where Russell Adler is being held. He's then held at gunpoint, but you're able to save him, and then you go on escaping this building. When you get outside of the gala, that is when you make an escape on motorcycles. It was a really, really cool mission, and we see bits and pieces of it through the several trailers, but like I said, we saw full gameplay of it. A couple of things I noticed from the gameplay is the Omni movement was definitely in there. Some cool references were made to the 90s, like for example, when you get out of the CIA black site and back into the gala, the first thing that you see is Little Caesar's Pizza, which I thought was hilarious. And then on top of this, the escape sequence where you were on the motorcycles was really great as well. So awesome Call of Duty moments mixed in with this like strategic talking to people, going through a gala spy kind of game. Really cool combination between the two. The next mission that we have takes place on February 9th in Iraq. Now, interesting thing about this mission, and again, this is something I'll have to dive deeper into. You play alongside Delta Force, but in this situation, Delta Force is led by Helen Park, which is of course one of the characters from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, meaning she never died in that campaign, which means actually a lot more for the story than you may think. But again, we'll dive into that in the future. But Delta Force led by Helen Park. The interesting thing about this mission is it's kind of an open world mission. Now, they specifically said do not think the ones that we have, because this one you actually get a map, attack map that you can go into, think kind of like Warzone-esque. And there's multiple different mission objectives, so they will show up as question marks, and you can go there and you can complete different missions. And then this will all lead to a raid on Saddam Hussein's palace, where we believe we will get information on Pantheon, the bad guys. So again, we got to see a chunk of gameplay for this mission, maybe a minute or two long. We saw some gunfights. We saw them actually use the tack knife that you can throw and then it explodes. So a couple cool things like that. But the big thing here was the way that you go about this mission, you can kind of choose. So you can drive through it, you can go to the different locations, completing various different objectives, which will give you more intel for the next thing that we're going to talk about, which is the safe house. Now, another really cool thing about this campaign is they're doing something similar to what they did with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, where in between missions, you have a safe house you can go to. But this isn't just any safe house. This is like literally a mansion. They said to us that there are secrets that lie within this mansion. On top of that, you can go to the safe house, go up to your evidence board and place your evidence. There is intel and secrets that you can find throughout the game that you can access within the safe house, giving us more story. And you can upgrade your weapons and equipment at the safe house. It sounds really cool. I'm really looking forward to this part of the game. And they also gave us some information on like kind of like the AI, the bad guys. There's going to be advanced enemies. So one example that they gave us is a soldier with a chain gun. These are going to lay further back, kind of like a juggernaut suit on them. Going to be harder to kill. They also gave us some information about some other pieces of equipment. So one of them was a homing knife. This was a throwing knife that when you throw it, it explodes. Also a tranquilizer trap. I'm not exactly sure how that one works. And of course, the RCXD is back. Now I will say this, because I can say this. Based off of what they showed us, when they showed us this, my jaw dropped. This is the best looking campaign for Call of Duty that I have ever seen. And the fact that they are trying to do these different style missions like they did with Black Ops Cold War. There's a heist. There, you go into a political campaign, you can go talk to people. That's the other thing about the safe house. You can go up to your other operators like Frank Woods and ask him questions about his past and find out about the various Call of Duty lore. That's my cup of tea. I love that that's in the game. Like I said, this is shaping up to be the best Call of Duty campaign ever. And if they nail the story out of the park, everything else sounds amazing. I am so excited for the story of it. It looks so good. But now I want to hear what you guys think. What do you think of the gameplay? What do you think of what I've told you? To me, it's all a Black Ops campaign should be, and I can't wait for it. You probably could hear the excitement in my voice, but that's all we have for campaign for now. I already uploaded a video earlier today on multiplayer. After this, in about an hour from now, we're going to have a zombies video, and then the AMA over on Twitch. If you want to check it out, link down in the description. But thanks for watching. That was the campaign. Can't wait to tell you guys more. Until next time. We are